Packer and Durham Power Hour is upon us as we continue to stream live on the ESPN app, SiriusXM 371, assortment of other radio stations, 844-SAY-ACCN is the number for the show. It is National Signing Day, and our next guest, along with Leonard Hamilton, who just joined us a half an hour or so ago, are the only two coaches in the ACC ever to have 11 appearances on Packer and Durham.
How about
the
that?
Two leaders in the clubhouse in football and basketball.
But wait, there's more. Before we get started, I got a note from our friend Stan Cotton that Coach Clawson's going to be doing his bowl radio show tonight amongst hundreds of barrels of brown water, Packer.
Excuse me? And we weren't invited?
Nope.
It involves brown water?
You are invited right now, and I was going to take a sip from my Packer and Durham coffee mug, but
and eat your egg custard that's also invisible.
You know, you look like
I mean, the last time I was on this show, I was told I'd have a coffee mug within days, and hold my breath. You know, good thing I brought some oxygen tents in here to survive.
Yeah, you know, you're like Nate Oates looking for a handshake down there at the University of Alabama at the end of that game the other night. You will get one. Here's the problem, Coach. And I'm going to plead guilty here because it's my responsibility to get you that coffee mug. I put the coffee mugs into the dishwasher to make sure they're super clean for you, and they haven't been touched. The problem is the lettering came off of it, and it looks like Czechoslovakian lettering on the side now. Like the Packer and Durham is down to like a C and an R, and I didn't want to send that to you because you'd have gone, that moron Packer, he can't get anything right. So we've got new ones ordered, apparently, and they are coming your way.
There we go.
I know you've heard that. It's in the mail before, but that's the truth.
That is the best excuse I've heard since the dog ate my homework.
All right. Let's get down to the crux of the matter. You're here with us on National Signing Day, and I remember a conversation you and I had prior to the Duke ball game where you said, people are going to be really surprised. We're not going to sign very many guys. And sure enough, you've already released the 12 high school prospects that you have gotten a national letter of intent from today. So why 12, not the normal 20? And you're not the only school, by the way, but you were pretty forthright about how it was going to be handled.
Well, I said it a while ago that I think coaches are, you're in a bind this year. Because, we could sign 20 and then tell a bunch of them when we have fifth and sixth year guys decide to come back for an extra year that they have to gray shirt. And we don't think it's right to do that. So these are 12 guys that can come in and start early. If some of our older players decide not to come back, then we'll be, a little shorthanded next year. But in my mind, we're going to sign 20, but the other 8 are going to be our current players that are coming back for a fifth or sixth year. So, our two excellent all-conference guards, Loic Nye and Sean McGinn, have both indicated to us that they want to come back for a sixth year. Sam Hartman's told us that he's planning on coming back for a fifth year. Tyler Williams is going to come back for a sixth year. Rondell Bothroyd is coming back for a fifth year. Kobe Davis is going to come back for a sixth year. And those are guys that in a normal year would probably have graduated and we'd sign 20. So if you added those 8 players to our signing class, Pac, I know you're a big fan of FPI and what a great metric that is. That if you added that to our recruiting class, FPI might even pick us to win a game or two next year.
Don't get me started. I do want to take a step away from recruiting for a second. Attending the ACC championship game, I couldn't help but notice really Wake Forest and Pitt, the two championship teams, really did a great job in fan support. And, I know we kidded around the last time we had you on the show about it, and that's been cleared up. But, man, I tell you what, the old black and gold on game day, that was really impressive in Charlotte. And I know you wanted to win the game. That's obvious. That's a given. But, man, a lot of the support that you had was out of sight.
Yeah, there's there's been a handful of moments as the head coach here that you get the goosebumps and the hairs on your neck go up. And that was one of them. When we took the field and we saw between 25 and 30,000 Wake Forest fans in black and gold packing the whole half of the stadium, that's meaningful to our team. And, that happened with the Belk Bowl. We had a couple of sellouts to end the season. But it's great that our football program can be a rallying point for our whole university. And, again, we're disappointed we didn't win. Disappointed we didn't play better, but what a showing by our fans. And I think we've already sold out our bowl allotment tickets down in Jacksonville. I know I made a joke about the 6 fans, and there was many reasons for doing that, but one was to hopefully rally our fan base a little bit. And I don't know if you saw the T-shirts that said, "I'm one of the 6 Wake Forest fans." So I think we sold a few thousand of those. So, it was a great response by our fan base, and we're grateful to them.
I tell you what, between those T-shirts and Forbes and that Eddie Haskell hat he had going on for that promotion over the weekend, you guys have got it going on. And now you got your coach's show at a bourbon bar. I mean, does it get any better than that, Coach? You're just missing a little Miss Jean's famous pie, and you've got it all covered.
You know what? It's the trifecta that you have a radio show at a bourbon bar. You get a Packer and Durham coffee mug, and you get egg custard pie from Wes. So that would be the trifecta. I'm going to knock out one of the 3 tonight. It's like I'm hoping the other 2 come to fruition before Christmas.
All right.
I told my wife I didn't need anything. I said I don't need a gift. I'm getting an egg custard pie and a Packer and Durham coffee mug. What else in the world could you possibly want?
Wait till my mom hears this show. All right.
No pressure, Miss Jean.
No pressure, Miss Jean. All right. Dave, I want to ask you about we had Mike Elko on a couple days ago, and I mean I know you got to be happy for him. And he said your guidance and the visits you guys had were incredibly helpful and supportive of him ultimately making the decision to be the new head football coach at Duke. What was that like for you? Here's a guy who's been a friend. You guys have worked together in more than a couple different spots together. And he's obviously gone to Notre Dame and then to A&M and now comes kind of full circle back. And, by the way, gets to play you now every year because you're permanent crossover opponents.
No, I'm really happy for Mike. I hired Mike when he was 23 years old and single at Fordham to coach our linebackers. And, you could tell very early in the interview with him that he was years ahead of guys and more experienced and more intuitive than guys that had coached the position for 20 years. So it was a matter of time. And I think for Mike, it was finding the right place at the right time. I was always hoping he'd get a head job. I didn't necessarily want it to be at one of our rival schools, but in the last 2 years, I've had 2 of my former assistants get Power 5 head jobs, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt and Mike Elko at Duke. They're both excellent coaches. They'll do a great job at both those places. And I'm happy and really proud of Mike and Clark for their ascension in the profession.
Coach, I want to fast forward a second. We started with recruiting. I kind of want to end it with this as too. Did you get a sense, given your success this particular year with a championship? Because you've gone to bowls now for 100 years in a row, and you've now made that routine, and that's not easy. But the fact that you won the Atlantic Division, in terms of recruiting moving forward, did you already find that doors are opening up that maybe were not there a year ago? And maybe that question's not fair for maybe 4 months down the road, 5 months down the road. But did you sense an impact already by winning the Atlantic?
I would say there was 2 bumps. And again, everything that happens in building a program is incremental. You don't go from bad to great. There's steps in between. And I would say with COVID and not being able to get people on campus, last summer when we could get guys on campus and they got to see our new facilities for the first time, we had players picking us over other schools that we traditionally haven't beaten recruiting because they would leave our campus and say, you guys are clearly more committed to football than this ACC school or this ACC school. We had never heard that before. And that was the facility commitment and the generosity of Bob McCreary and Ben Sutton and Alan Fox and others that put us in that position. Then the success of our season and winning 10 games and winning the Atlantic and getting to the ACC championship game, kind of late in the process, some really big elite Power 5 schools that have been in the college football playoff tried to jump in late and take some of our recruits. And maybe in the past, without having the success, maybe we would have lost one or two of those guys. And this year we hung on to every single one of them. And again, don't get me going on the stars, but, we had a player that the whole time we're recruiting him, he's 3 stars, and we think he's the very best player at his position in the state and one of the top in the country. But it's funny, until they get that offer from a certain school, they don't become a 4-star. And, so we thought this guy was one of the best, receivers in the country from day one. But until a school that was a member of the ACC for one season offers him, he doesn't become a 4-star. So, we've never won those battles before. We've never beaten a school, that school before in recruiting. And they came on this guy hard at the end, and we held on to him, and it worked out because it took that offer for him to get a 4-star. So suddenly he got better in the recruiting services after his last game. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, it is.
But again, that'll help our FPI rank pack. So again, instead of maybe predicted to win 2 games next year, they might pick us to win 2.6.
That's it. There's a 48% chance that's accurate.
Hey, real quick before we go here, I've noticed that something's different about your backdrop. Is that something over your right shoulder that has worked its way into your office now? Is that right?
Well, I put the. Is it the Belk Bowl? Is it the Belk Bowl championship?
No. It's not that. It's on the chair. I think it's sitting right over your right shoulder. It looks like that thing.
Yeah, geez, who snuck that in here?
You got it, Floyd.
That's it.
I didn't even notice it. I was just too busy looking for my coffee mug that I don't have.
Yeah. Maybe it's stuck behind there. You just never know.
Be behind it. So,
I'm just saying.
Are you asking Clawson the question?
I am asking Coach the question.
Oh, this is good. Now I'm expecting a good answer.
All right, here we go, Coach. Give me the song, the tune that you, Dave Clawson, get absolutely jazzed. Your walk-in moment. I mean, it's whatever gets you dialed in. Game day, bowl game, championship, whatever. What's the song?
Naive Melody, This Must Be the Place by Talking Heads.
Wow. Went right to it.
David Byrne and Talking Heads.
Oh, yeah. That's Talking Heads is my favorite band. David Byrne. Matter of fact, even in my office, one of my best friends from high school up in Lewiston Porter High School in Youngstown, New York, he knows how much I like that song, and he sent me a poster. It's called Talking Heads Realty. This Must Be the Place, because the song's about home, and I love that tune. So that's number one on my playlist. If I'm on my deathbed and I got 4 minutes left, that's the tune I'm going to want to hear.
All right, there it is. Right to the chase.
Nice call. Hey, be well.
Wait a minute. Now,
wait.
I will just say this, and I don't want to do this to you, but it's your call. If you do want the Packer and Durham Czechoslovakian mug, I will send that to you with like the 4 letters that it didn't get washed away.
Dave, no.
But do you want to hold out for the legit full Packer and Durham mug? Just let me know. I'll go either way there. A or B.
Get the real one.
You guys are such first class guys that I'll take the top shelf mug when it gets here. So I can.
Very good.
Patience is a virtue, right?
By the way, speaking of top shelf, have a great radio show tonight.
Yeah. Go to the top shelf.
Well, you guys are more than welcome to join. And from what I understand, if you come up, Stan Cotton would foot the bar bill. So
I'll tell you what, you throw in some more of that Moravian sugar cake that we got from Winston-Salem this week.
Hey.
I might just have to road trip after the radio show.
Hey,
now.
Coach, we had a pallet delivered. I picked it up at the Wilkerson Bakery the other day in Winston-Salem. A pallet. It was unbelievable.
So, well, anytime you get to town, let me know. And again, I'm going to be down in Charlotte in January. Would love to go break bread with you guys.
Oh, here we go.
That's
yeah,
it.
we're in.
Done
All right.
deal.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Okay,
Merry
thank you,
Christmas.
guys. Yep, Merry
bet.
Christmas to you too.
Dave Clawson, head coach of the Deeks.
11th appearance, leader in the clubhouse on the football side.